You ever wonder what it feels like to know you weren't supposed to survive? To be the only one left to tell the story? My name is Daniel, and this is what happened when my best friend and I went camping. I wish I could say it was just a bad dream, but I lived it. And to this day, I still don't understand how I made it out alive. It all started as a simple weekend trip. Jacob, my best friend since childhood, and I had been talking about going on a camping adventure for weeks. We wanted to get away from everything phone, school, noise, people, just us and the woods. The forest we chose was miles from the nearest town. No houses, no cars, no lights. Just endless trees stretching in every direction. It felt like the perfect spot for adventure. We set up camp by a small clearing, pitched the tent, and built fire. The flames crackled against the cool night air, and for a while, everything felt peaceful. The stars above us were brighter than I had ever seen, stretching across the sky like diamonds. Jacob kept cracking jokes, saying how we were going to end up in a horror movie. I laughed, but deep down his words left me uneasy. That night, sometime past midnight, I woke up suddenly. At first I thought it was the cold, but then I heard it. Snapping branches, heavy footsteps circling our tent. I held my breath, trying to convince myself it was just a deer, or maybe a bear, but the sound wasn't random. It was deliberate, slow, almost careful, and then it stopped. Right outside the air. The morning brought no comfort. In fact, it felt worse. When we packed up to head back to the trail, something was wrong. The markers we had, left bright orange tape tied around tree trunks, were gone. Every single one. At first, I thought maybe we had taken the wrong path. But the deeper we went, the less familiar everything looked. Trees twisted in strange directions. The air felt heavy, and no matter which way we turned, we only seemed to wander deeper. That's when Jacob stopped walking. His face was pale. "We're not alone out here," he said quietly. I wanted to tell him he was wrong, that we'd just gotten lost, but the truth was sitting heavy in my chest. I knew he was right. That evening, as the sun began to sink, we stumbled into a wide clearing. That's when I saw it. A figure. At first I thought it was a person, but it wasn't. It was too tall, too thin, its skin pale like stretched paper. Its arms hung lower than they should have. And when it moved, it didn't move like us. Its limbs jerked in unnatural angles, as if something was forcing its body to walk. My heart froze. Jacob and I dropped to the ground behind some rocks, holding our breath. For a second, I thought maybe it hadn't noticed us. But then Jacob made a mistake. His foot slipped, crunching down on a branch. The sound echoed like thunder in that silent clearing. The creature's head snapped around instantly. It didn't just turn. It twisted, fast, like its neck had no bones. Its eyes, dark and hollow, locked onto us. In that moment, I knew we had to run. We bolted into the woods, branches ripping at our skin, tearing our clothes. Behind us, I could hear it giving chase. The sound wasn't like footsteps. It was faster, heavier, crashing through trees with a speed that no human could ever match. Jacob screamed my name, but I didn't look back. The forest was a blur of shadows and panic. We reached a ravine, too wide to jump across. My chest heaved as I looked for another way out, but there wasn't one. Jacob turned to me, his voice breaking, as he said, "Go, Daniel. Don't stop." Before I could argue, before I could grab him, the creature was on us. It reached from the darkness, its long, pale fingers wrapping around Jacob's arm. He screamed as it yanked him backward, dragging him into the trees. The last thing I saw was his face twisted in terror before both he and the creature vanished into the shadows. His scream still haunts me. I kept running. I don't even remember how long. My legs burned, my lungs ached, but fear pushed me forward. Eventually, I collapsed under a fallen tree, wedging myself into the dirt, trying to make myself invisible. The forest wasn't quiet. It was alive, with whispers, scratching sounds, and worst of all, Jacob's voice, faint, calling my name. Daniel, it whispered from the trees. My blood ran cold, because I knew it wasn't him. Whatever was out there was using his voice, trying to lure me out. I pressed my hands over my ears and prayed for daylight. When the first light of dawn broke, I crawled out and stumbled forward until I found a dirt road. I don't remember much after that, except waving frantically at a passing car. The driver pulled over, his eyes wide when he saw the state I was in. Bloody, scratched, shaking. They took me straight to the police. Search teams went back into the forest to look for Jacob. They searched for days, but they found nothing. No clothes, no body, not even footprints. It was like he had been erased. People don't believe me when I tell them what I saw. They say I was hallucinating from exhaustion, or that I imagined it because I was scared. But I know what I saw. And sometimes, late at night, I hear scratching outside my window. Sometimes I hear Jacob's voice calling my name, just like it did in the woods. And that's when I know, whatever was out there, it followed me back. So if you ever think about camping in those woods, don't. Because once you go in, you might never come out.